Hello and welcome back to Mzansi. You are back. We obviously couldn't leave you hang. We are not until later this December. We hopefully are going to be able to maintain you with this fatigue until late. Emily, how are you
Yes.
doing today?
Today I still felt a bit sad.
Yeah, it did. When I saw accused number one answering, and one caller was calling me also saying, "Hey, I shed a tear." It was a sad moment where it felt like he was alone. Yes, he's supposed to choose with this beautiful legal aid,
Mm,
which was not willing to pay Mgomezul for some God knows what reasons.
mm,
But now they're willing to help. Good. And they're giving him one choice
mm.
within the people that are there.
Already there.
Look, I heard many people, hey, Ramsipiri would hit the ground and run. I've got nothing against him, love him.
Mm,
But if I was to choose, I would definitely choose Mnisi.
mm.
I would definitely choose Mnisi to represent me.
Mm.
I don't know what you think about that, but from where I stand, I would definitely go for Mnisi. I know Ramusipiri at some point represented the accused number one for so long and is well familiar with. I would ask them to work together, but I would choose Mnisi to put my assertion.
I don't know. I would. What does one do in this situation? It feels like you are in a box. It feels like you don't have much of a choice. It feels like, you know, Komia Mushat. Like you don't know what limits you have. And I felt for accused number one, Muzi Sibiya, there towards the end because it looked like it just dawned on him when they were asking him what is he going to do, and he resorted back to, no, I need to call my family and ask if they cannot get me a lawyer. And I'm like, oh my god, he's so overwhelmed. And at the same time it felt like choices are being made for him. He's not given enough time to process what is happening. And you'd even hear with Advocate Nis himself, as well as all the defense counsel, saying that they also need time. They also need time to make up their minds and see where they could fit. What are they going to do? Do they get a new lawyer for him who's going to hit the ground running? Or does one of them take the case and run with it? It's all very weird. It's a weird situation. And to think that Ubabum Gomezulu had to struggle at some point with legal aid not wanting to pay him. And now he's given such a limited option of choices. It's like choose this or choose that. I don't know. At this point, I don't know. I feel like he needs
I
more
never,
time. He
I
needs
never
more time to
understand.
think.
I don't understand this thing of legal aid.
It's a lot with legal aid and how they've decided to navigate with this case.
The
It
thing
leaves much
is,
to be
the thing is, they seem
desired.
to be also assisting on the other side, in my opinion. You know,
Mm.
I mean, you are in states in any case. We know that.
It's like they're putting so much pressure on him. Like it hasn't dawned. A lot of things he's still processing. I mean, did you just notice how when they came back after that long adjournment, when they were asking him again, it looked like everything was finalized, everything is ready. And then the judge asked him, which one of these lawyers would you like for you to represent you? And he's like, I need to call my family. I need to get my family so that they get me a lawyer. He's overwhelmed.
They get him a lawyer.
Yes.
So he's not choosing this one.
he hasn't been given much of time to think about what he wants to do, in my opinion. Do you hear in the morning they're telling him quickly go apply for legal aid, they're closing on Friday? Everything is just a rush. Everything is just, it's like, okay,
Hey,
I'm
the
still
timing, though.
grieving.
The
I'm still
timing, though,
grieving the loss of a lawyer who passionately
represented
me, and I have no idea how I'm going to. They are irreplaceable. Ngomezulu for accused number 1, he's very much irreplaceable. Right, and now he's being bombarded with all of these things. It's like people are making decisions for him, and they are forcing him.
People are eager. People are excited to make decisions. But in all this, and in all fairness, I think accused number one is family. I don't know whether they are learned or what. It seems as if they have an idea of what is happening there. I think they do, in any case. You know, their decisions are more in line with what I would do if I had money, or if I could try something. You understand? Yeah, I would choose Mnisi. But then I think they are asking themselves many questions, you know, after Ngomezulu's departure, sadly. And they have a lot in their minds, and they are also thinking, okay, if, let's say, for argument's sake, this was something man-made, or if something like that, what is it that they were afraid of that probably the states or the legal aid lawyers are not doing? Let's say if the theories that are flying outside there, these are theories, and it's not to say there's not something like that. I'm just putting maybe what is in their head. You know, Gomezulu represented them because of independence from the legal aid, maybe. And maybe Ngomezulu was sharing some of the things, as to say, you see, maybe this is where maybe this one might be hamstrung, to say, don't do this, don't do that.
Even when he was under the impression that legal aid was going to be paying him, he was hamstrung. There was a change.
In a sense, allegedly. He was timid. He was like, okay, I can, you know. And then he started being released when he was free of legal aid. Yes. That's where he started being released. It is unfortunate, very unfortunate, that we are here. But I would advise one thing, maybe, to the accused. Take this legal aid. Either way, you are probably going down. Save that money if it's there for High Court.
Because he's going to be needed in Bloemfontein Supreme Court of Appeal. He's very much going to need that money, because there it's where it's going to go down. Okay, so yeah, a lot leaves much to be desired about this case. I'm just feeling down. I'm feeling depressed. I'm feeling like, why, Lord, why? There's some things that shouldn't be happening. But hey, asazi, guys, we can only put our faith in God. And thank you so much to everyone who's been calling, giving me words of encouragement, and just letting us know that it's not the end. You know, it's not the end. Everything happens for God's reason and timing. It makes no sense right now, but we have to soldier on and keep doing what we've been doing. So thank you, guys. Highly appreciate all of your messages. I've been reading them, and thank you for the calls as well. So yes, guys, a way forward needed to be ironed out, and court proceedings for the year were due to end yesterday, or rather, they were supposed to end this Friday because Advocate Baloy had said that he had booked this week for catching up in some way, but after what happened on Tuesday morning, was a change of plan. But yeah, instead they ended up to yesterday. So yesterday was the last day for this term. They will resume on the 20th of January, but just before then, on the 8th, they asked to meet up with the judge so that they can discuss the way forward with accused number one. They believe that by then he would have made up his mind. And if there's a need to recruit a new lawyer, then that lawyer would be accustomed with everything, or they would be familiarized with everything, so that on the 20th, cross-examination of Brigadier Kininda by Advocate Mshololo can resume, and then that lawyer, if they are there, they will need to now continue with cross-examination that was supposed to be done by Mgomezulu. I mean, we were all eagerly waiting for the cross-examination of
Mgomezulu. Yes. Unfortunately, either way, if you decide to do it that way of money, and it must be sustainable money, we're talking really sustainable money. Either way, you are going to have to postpone for this lawyer to engage all these documents and see what is facing. And here,
billing you every time,
and they'll be billing you every time they are going through all these things. So my advice to you would be, take this one, but taking this. And I think even themselves, if they are fair with you, they should tell you what they are facing. In a sense, we are facing you guys going down, but do not lose hope. Then you can go for an appeal. Because honestly speaking, I mean, like it or not, so there is no double up. There's no double up. We have seen all the loopholes, unfortunately, but really, we don't see a double up. Not because the presentation was bad. No, I don't think it was that bad. Everything was done properly. But I cannot see the other way based on the questions that I was hearing from Rata that seem to be totally against you. Also, the inconsiderate that we have seen with Mgomezulu when he was sick, in my opinion, Rata was not considerate at all. I know he can argue. He was very cold,
cold-hearted.
And he even said, wait, we'll drag him from hospital. And indeed, he called that man to come.
Yes, while he was
and there was that lack of belief that he was ill. Okay?
Even in the last day of him living.
The joke, I don't know whether it was a joke, that thing, or we saw. He didn't even address it. He didn't even address it to say, I'm sorry. What I said was uncalled for. So it's based on that. Don't waste your money. Save it if it's there. Save it. Bring Nisi. Nisi is going to do a fine job. I believe that he's going to do a fine job. But if you take it any further than this, I don't think it'll be a right decision. We have to accept what is coming and then deal with the next stage. Because right now, everything that is being done by the defense is probably to put everything on record so that when they review, everything is on record.
Yeah.
The contradictions and everything.
Yeah.
There is basically nothing that will change that man's mind who's sitting there. Nothing. Even if you bring who's that lawyer who helped, who was in charge of the case, Berry. Even if you bring Berry, it's not going to help you. Based on this maybe it can, but
because of his skin
because
color.
of his mostly he's a very good lawyer. He's a very good lawyer, Berry. There's no doubt about that.
But his
But-
skin color would serve as an advantage before a judge like this.
It could. I don't wanna sound, but yeah, I mean, you know what we are trying to say on the basis of what we.
But I would say save. I agree with you on saving it for the appeal.
There is really nothing that can really
Because
save
they
you
will
now.
need to appeal.
You are as guilty as charged as you sit there on the basis of what we have seen. Guilty as charged. If you ask me, in the front of this judge, in front of the investigating office, front of Baloi, you know, and the couple of minions. Yeah, it's guilty as charged. So save your energy, save your family from having that belief that you might pass the stage. Eventually you will succeed, in my opinion, on the eyes of a different judge, different settings. But not here. Not here. And Nakona go next one. I don't know. This case, what I've realized is that we are just seeing the surface.
Yeah, it's just
We do not see what is really
the invincible hand.
under the water, the ice under. We just see this iceberg on top. We don't know what is happening under the. So everything has to work out together. Like God, if you believe there's God, your sisters, if you believe there's ancestors, everything, because Kona manje, if you ask me as a citizen, I see you're not guilty when it comes to this. I see that you are not guilty. I don't even need those people who are still to come being called by the defense. I see that you guys probably were not there. I see that. Unfortunately, it's not what we see. Most of us outside can see what is happening, but it's not about us. There are gurus of the law who know law. Your Rob versus Hep, your what. And there's even the coconuts that are speaking English that is better than mine, who are doctors and whatnot, or professors. I was surprised, actually.
What doctor and professor?
I don't want to call people. I was surprised. How surprised that kunomuntu okuthiwa reach that stage, but level of thinking is that one of my younger nephew. Then you realize ukuthi ayasifanani khona ukufunda imfundo is not wisdom in any case. Neyinwele ezimhlophe is not wisdom.
They
Sometimes
used to fight me when I said that.
Imfundo is not wisdom. Imfundo is just that.
I'm not bashing education. I love education.
Our education
I have
is messed
met
up.
a couple of educated fools in my lifetime.
Yeah, that's true.
I have a lot.
I mean, people
And
really,
I'm flabbergasted.
people who really have your doctorate and whatnot.
And I'm like,
But you ask yourself, oh, is that how far you can think? Like, how far you can stretch your brain?
You think like this every day.
You wake up and think like every day. But unfortunately, guys, there are people who are like that, and we cannot do anything about it.
No,
And
there's
education will not make you wiser. The case in question, Zuma.
He's a perfect example. of
Perfect
that.
example.
Wisdom cannot be found.
It cannot be found in school.
Unfortunately.
And wisdom cannot be found in school. There at school, you just learn how to ask for the job and how to apply yourself in these companies, private companies, private
in your
institutions,
job as well.
and these institutions that requires you to wear a tie, and that's basically it.
How to become a professional.
So
all.
unfortunately, that's
Everything
the
else,
case.
you have to work on yourself. Your common sense and training it, you have to work
Based on your
yourself.
background, based on how you grew up. I was saying to other people should not think that Bona, because they went to school, other kids did not go to school for some weird reason, for whatever reason that it is, then they're better than those kids. Yeah, but and we must say it goes with a bit of luck, I would say.
Not even luck, it's the resources.
And resources, yes. A bit of luck and resources. I'm saying bit of luck because these institutions, they have power to reject you with your decisions.
Oh, yes.
So it comes with a bit of luck. That's why when most people, when they made it to university, they felt invincible because they thought, wow, we were chosen. We are the chosen one. And then they go feed them a lot of crap of education. And you listen to this education, you're like, wow, is this what you can bring? They tell you about your raw material producer. They tell you South Africa is a raw material producer, Africa at large. And you take it, you get doctorate after that. If you can argue a case like that and not disagree with such theories, many people who have wrote theses that were sort of saying otherwise, they failed.
You will fail.
You will fail. Even their research is confined to whatever that you need to choose. You need to pick from certain topics within the range of that. You choose something outside of that, you need to quantify it. And if your so-called, now I'm looking at these so-called professors, they disagree with you.
You are forced to think a certain way.
Yeah.
You are forced to limit
you
yourself
go to companies,
the thinking of some John something from the 1930s.
You go to companies, you write what they call a psychometric test, where you are expected. I mean, all the time when I write those psychometric test email, I always choose the opposite, and it's within me. I don't know. I know what they want me to choose. You can almost tell what they want you to choose, but if you choose the opposite, then they hesitate to hire you.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not a candidate.
You are not a right candidate. You are not a fit candidate.
Yes.
That's all I'm trying to say. And then you look at how basically out of that people are created as these machines that needs to think in a certain way. That is why it is difficult to believe that on the basis of all these things, your DNA, your I'm sorry, it's very bad, very, very bad. It's like going to preach after listening to someone's sermon, then you go preach, you'll end up answering some of the things that I say. I heard someone arguing about the movement of the phone, and I was like, wow.
Did you go to that other app again?
I did. I couldn't help myself. I couldn't.
That app, a lot is going on there.
I couldn't help myself, And then I went on to check. This person is saying, if before I finish it, I'm going to finish this, and let's go do what we need to do. If I was to hire you in my company, and you say you're a data scientist,
yes,
and after hiring you, I happen to bump into you into those apps,
yes,
and then I find your reasoning like that, I find a way of firing you. I'm being honest. How? I will find a way of firing you.
Be creative.
No, I will be very creative and fire you. Not because maybe I will be hating no, just the level of thinking. If I was a woman and you're my boyfriend, you reason like that.
Run.
I'm done. It's a turn off.
Run.
It's a turn off.
Run. That's why it's important to have the intellectual conversations. Just to have them, just to check.
You say you're a data scientist. I'm this and this. You're like, wow.
Before you dive in. It's very important.
That's Emily. You take this case to Emakaya, go mama, people who grew up in Emakaya, Beteta Makala, under the tree. They listen to this evidence. Without English, you translate it proper to them. They would find these people not guilty. I'm telling you about that kangaroo court.
Alikho
Alikho icala la.
icala.
But these ones of ours, of educated, learned colleagues,
They're stretching it.
they are stretching it.
Which year? It started 2022, 23, 24. Now we're going to the third year.
Yeah, so
2025.
we are here. We have lost the loved ones. We have gotten fond of people and then had to lose them
along the
way. And we are here picking up the pieces. You ask yourself, where is this thing going, Vel?
How many more people?
You know, I was not being negative when I said, and I had a couple of people saying, let them get their way. You know?
Once.
Because, you know, it's not an issue of being frustrated by the states. You're also frustrated by the judge. So what else can you get if someone who's supposed to mark you believes you are wrong in any case, no matter what you write? How you can talk and stretch it for years and speak and speak and speak. You are still going to be wrong.
You're not going to win.
You are not going to win that. One person is sitting there is your demigod.
Yes.
He's your alpha and omega. You have to worship them. That's why you have to say your worship, your lordship. I never understood that thing. It's like battering you. Your lordship, your worship, my lord.
Like walking into, I would say, walking into a hearing and already you know that this person doesn't like you.
Yes. It's a waste of time.
Minds.
It's a waste of time.
So you end up sitting there and folding your arms.
So you keep on saying your lordship.
Maybe that's the reaction that they also want.
Your worship, your lordship, your worship. For what?
That they're banking on, that you'll just give up and
your honor is used in America. I don't believe those things should be used. That thing is nonsense. It's like making someone superior, a mini demigod. Yet on the other side, you are using a Bible to say, sway people in. You use the Bible. And then you are using, you are calling these people a demigod. Then you take that further. Then you start getting people attacking you, saying you're attacking their stuff. Because why on earth would people who so believe in this and still use the word Lord, your lordship? Why? Isn't that word reserved? You know, even your father, you don't call your father your lordship.
No. Or your lord, my lord.
My lord. You don't call your father that.
No. We don't call our fathers that.
You put people's hands in the Bible that says you should not worship anything else other than God. And then you still go on and call a person
my lord.
My lord.
This should be revisited.
I'm doing it nonsense. And then people say, hey. Those are the things that people should visit. You know? How am I going to address you if I have to mpapa tamato? It's fine.
Well, Judge Ratamkhwatleng touched on Gomezulu's passing when proceedings started. Apparently, the proceedings started with the judge asking that they observe a moment of silence.
What is that for?
No.
What is that for?
It's protocol, I guess.
What protocol?
For him.
No, there's no such.
As the court.
There's no such.
There's no such.
What is that for?
Why
are you doing a moment of silence? Is in respect to the person that you respected.
Or he did not respect.
In my opinion, that thing should be done by people who respected that person.
Well, there was no respect.
What is that for? Why are you doing that now when you were telling us you saw this person?
What would you say to people that are saying we're being unfair, or you are being unfair?
Unfair to who?
He's just trying.
Trying what?
Doing his best.
What best? What best? Where have you seen the best?
People who are defending and they're saying, "Oh no, what is he supposed to do?"
I'm gonna say this is a classical case.
What is he
where that should be used as an example in future, that we should never call retired judge. Never.
Yeah.
Retirement is retirement.
Yeah, it's done now.
You know, it was one way of wasting our money. And let me tell you something. This system was so created for certain people. Now, some of our people are benefiting from it. And it is not... I'll tell you why I think these people were paid until the end of their lives. I'll tell you why. Because there were few of them. This job was reserved for certain people.
It was.
So to barter them, they had to pay them for years. You know, that was done then. They are beneficiary of that system. The system that we don't approve of as South Africans, most. They are beneficiary of that system. True. That thing of paying, it's useless. Emily, does it make sense that I wake up every morning, I go to work to serve, you know, so that in future I can get my pension fund and go retire somewhere?
Yes.
Why is it that only the taxpayers' money can do that? Why is my company not going to pay me until I die?
You're asking a valid question.
Why is my company not doing that? I serve, let's say some people serve one company until they retire.
Yes.
Why are they not saying, since you served on that company for years, you never did us wrong, we are going to pay you until you die? Why? Why then should we take our taxpayers' money and give it to these people instead of developing more judges? Instead of using that money to take more kids to school to study law, so that we can have many judges and breed more judges. So that in future we don't have to beg and go ask Rata, who's sitting there maybe playing with his kids, to come back and see over this case. Eh?
I still can't get over.
It just doesn't make sense.
Lorraine's letter to the president.
We are even proud that we use this thing. It was based on scarcity. We were battering those people saying, oh, we will pay you even when you are at home. And it was right at the time because it was not us. You know, it was them.
Asking for a retired judge and then a retired judge resided over the case. I still can't get over it.
It's useless system. I tell you, you will never hear lawyers arguing that. Never.
Akiri, you are in the legal fraternity. They are. Kiri, how do I put it in a nice way without making it? They are restricted, or rather, the emphasis on how they behave is more important than anything else. So you'll find that law students in your universities and institutions, they're the ones fighting hard, organizing protests, being activists. And then when they enter the legal profession, everything changes. It's a different ball game. Now they have to be this.
It's a moment where you get that captured spirit where you cannot speak freely.
No, they can't speak freely.
Freedom is not freedom to you.
Yes.
Anything you say that is doing what I'm doing right now is against the. They are operating like a private company. You know, they are operating like a private company, yet they are a public thing that can be discussed. You know, that has to have someone who says no. I do not believe that we should be paying judges until they die. I don't believe in that.
You raise that in the legal fraternity,
yes.
And you're a lawyer yourself. Ha!
Then you'll be faced with a lot of organization and whatnot, and there will be a lot of people be speaking. So everyone who's working is battering certain judge so that that judge can suggest or what do they call it, overshadow. Call them for overshadowing, and then after that they suggest that you should come. It's tedious.
It's like scratch my back, I scratch yours type of situation.
It's tedious.
It's very
How about
exhausting.
let's check you're honest as a person. Yes, you've been a lawyer for 10 years. Simple. Let us test you're honest as a person. Let us look at the case that you have taken. Let us look at how you have handled them. Were you at some point faced with a case where you needed to be honest? You know, and then you were honest. Are you able to balance that? Are you willing to lose for the good cause? You know, or it's all about winning. You get 100%, then eventually you become a judge. Imagine, I don't want to say things, but imagine people who are in court currently. If one of them was to tend to be a judge, I'm not going to call names. Just imagine. The power is there right now. And imagine now giving that like extra power. You are creating a mini god.
If he's not one already.
So it just doesn't make sense. I'm trying to understand this whole ruckus. I just cannot fathom why people should enjoy the benefits of our money, hard-earned money, and now we cannot.
No, we can't. We can't.
Even today, we cannot even enjoy that pension fund thoroughly. Now, something is being done on it. Kunabantu kodwa nje abalokhu bekhangezile nje uhlele ekhaya abazukulu bayofunda. Already those people, we are giving them a starter ahead because they will never run dry.
Never.
So their kids will be driving cars going to varsity to go study some philosophy there.
Yes.
I'm not undermining any qualification. I'm just saying.
They can. Their parents have provided the cushion for them to do that. Nothing wrong with them studying philosophy.
So, we're born king, like on. We are under siege. Our kids, my kid, if I don't save well, my kid will suffer. But someone who's at my age who will be a judge eventually, their kids will never suffer.
Nope. No, they're not going to.
I understand paying doctors. You know, I understand saying, okay, let's pay doctors because experience it does matter. It's not an issue of the feelings. You know, it's not an issue of the feelings. It's just something that you gain more and more. Maybe as you operate, you become more of an expert. You know, there we can pay because we are paying for what? We are paying for a maturing skill.
A skill that's
for me, being a judge, it requires you to be at the level of a pastor, an honest pastor. I'm not talking about these mediocres that we see today.
Oh, how many judges look like pastors?
No, I'm saying good pastors, people who are honest.
But how many of them look like honest
it's
pastors?
Not about looking. I'm saying to you, there is out of 100.
Integrity must
there
be
is out of 100. There is one pastor who really believes that honesty is the way to go. I'm saying about those pastors. I'm not talking about what you see on media, those ones who are doing a lot of things in media. I'm talking about an honest pastor who, when you go to them and ask for an advice, they will tell you, even if you are driving a big car, they will tell you, son, you are wrong here. Like your father. A father figure that looks at two people who are fighting as his kids and say, okay, or a mother figure, okay, let me see who's wrong between the two of you. Let me use this law. And then let's look at what you are bringing. Oh yeah, you are wrong actually.
One person that I can think of who has that kind of
Mohweng. That's what how many, if we can duplicate or create that level. And Mohweng, guess what? He used to question some of the things.
Did he question
and
the pandemic?
It didn't look good. You know? That's what I'm looking for
They try to
in this
make
ad.
him look like a conspiracy theorist.
That's what I'm looking for.
But he questioned.
And this ad
Was very
vomits.
important to question. And at a time where he could have lost everything, he still forged ahead and questioned.
This ad vomits people like that.
Yes.
It does not want that. It does not people who are questioning. You know, if you can create a duplicate of such, create a duplicate of your Skakane level, you know, create a duplicate of such, just, you know, have that thing. Maybe they need to, I don't know. There are modules that I feel this law thing is missing. They just go and read the book according to so and so. This is how you solve things. How do you deal with people's heart? What happens if you come in there? I just hate you. Just by looking at you, I just hate you. I'm like, I don't care what this guy is saying, but I don't like it.
Honestly, you're supposed to recuse yourself, but I'm here to see.
We have seen one judge in Zuma's case who recused himself.
They don't want to recuse themselves most of the time. They'd rather forge ahead claiming
And fight
to not
you.
know the person that is before them, denying that they know them, even though they do know them on a personal level. But they would.
I would
deny.
like. Unfortunately, these cases were no. I would like to have seen Mohweng as a lawyer practicing and maybe and then just that journey.
Yeah.
See how to study those people.
You should write a book.
Study those people, how to breed those people. You know, how to breed those people.
You should write a book. It's needed.
You know, as far as I believe when it comes to this thing of judges, I don't believe that the power of in those interviews we should be selected by parties, because in a sense you become biased, because I chose you, I put you there. Can push a vote of no confidence, then you step down.
Yeah.
People like that, they should be sitting in a panel. Mohweng deserves to sit in a panel and have a big say. Say, bring that kid. But it's a long story. It's a story for another day.
You know how I'm seeing how in the biggest country in the world, the US of A, how things are happening there. They are trickling down here. It's like the same operation, the same strategy, the same problems. They are tripling down here, and when they come here, they are extreme. They are extreme when they are here. So I'm like, asas, but forward we go. We'll see Siobana Pambilo where all of this ends up. So the judge said that they are meeting at a traumatic time, and he asked for accused number 1, Muzi Sibiya. He asked him a question if he's ever been informed that his lawyer has died. And Sibiya said that he heard. The judge asked him when did he hear this, and Muzi said that he heard when he arrived. The judge asked him if it was yesterday, and Muzi said yes, he agreed that he heard yesterday when he arrived at the prison. So the judge said, we are very sorry about the turn of events. Now we can't continue until you decide what happens to your defense. You must have a choice which you must exercise. I won't influence you. I can't tell you what to do, but you have a right to either defend yourself or appoint another defense counsel. But because I know that you and your previous lawyer, Mr. Mgomezulu, said your uncle was financing your defense, so it would be proper that you must get in touch with your uncle and discuss this issue of your defense with him. The judge asked him how long he was going to need to do that, and Sibiya says that he doesn't know because his uncle was already complaining that this financial support was very heavy on him. And the judge said that Ms. Mshololo told us in chambers that Legal Aid Board is prepared to finance you if you lodge an application before Friday, because they are closing on Friday. And in the meantime, they can process your application if you so decide. This sounded like rushed to me. I get that legal aid board is closing on Friday and everything. This man just heard that his lawyer passed away yesterday. He's still processing it. And now you're telling him, go quickly, Friday before. Is it wrong if he waits for January to file for legal aid? I'm just asking. I get it. The proceedings are going to resume on the 20th. Is it wrong for him to wait until they reopen so that he can think and really explore his options and see what options he has on the table? Because I doubt he's had time to really think of what to do next.
Obviously, it doesn't.
Let it sink in that Ubabumkomezulu is gone. I don't think everything is fast. Everything is just... So the court suggested an adjournment until 11 for Muzi Sibiya to be able to contact his uncle for a way forward. And the state advocate, George Baloyi, has expressed or did express a heartfelt condolence on behalf of all the counsel to the family of Nkomezulu, and he said that he supported that the court adjourn. Advocate Mshololo Yana, she wasn't gonna stay for that. She said that she needed to go and support the family at 11 and someone else can stand in for her. So all the defense counsel did support the adjournment for Sibiya to contact his family. So this portion, I tried to look. I don't think it was broadcasted, but here's what happened in between before they resumed for that one after the long adjournment. They said that court resumed, but they were we were waiting. I didn't see it. Maybe you guys saw it. So when it resumed after this, Advocate Baloyi said that Counsel was still busy helping Sibiya with legal aid, and he said that the defense counsel are still not finished with consulting accused number one. And he said that they wanted to call someone from legal aid board to come to court. So previously, legal aid had indicated that it might be difficult for Sibiya to seek funding again from them after choosing to be represented by Advocate Nkomezulu. Do you guys remember that? There was a time where they refused to pay Nkomezulu's legal aid. Initially, it seemed like they were going to pay him, and then along the way, after weeks and weeks of him waiting to get paid, they finally let him know that they cannot pay him. They were under the impression that they were paying Ramasepeli for accused 1 and 2, and now accused 1 did not want Nkomezulu to leave after the trial within a trial. He wanted him to represent him even in the main trial, and they told him that, sorry, that cannot happen. You will need to either choose another legal aid lawyer or continue with Ramasepeli. So Nkomezulu was not an option at the time for legal aid to pay him. So yes,
let's press that like button, guys. Please assist on that like button. Please press it. Please press that like button as you subscribe. Yes.
So Ramasepeli said that they were deliberating on legal aid's previous position on Sibiya, and Ramasepeli said that legal aid is a state functionary which must do its job. Advocate Charles Mnisi explained that there are questions that accused number 1 has on the legal aid funding, which they don't have answers to. You see, he even had questions about legal aid and what is going on. I mean, he's processing everything and it's coming at him like a ton of bricks, and suggested that they adjourn so that they can get legal aid to come and answer those questions that accused number 1 had. And accused number 1 was also unable to call his uncle, as a book with the number was not here. So he didn't have a phone book with his uncle's phone number with him. So he couldn't call his uncle. So the judge suggested that he calls a representative from legal aid to come to court. There was an adjournment until the representative from legal aid came to court. So after that adjournment, that's when we finally got to see what conclusion they had come to. Nisi said that the court requested that they should call Mr. Mjudo to come and give them a way. He was here, or he was still there, apparently, according to Ramusipili, and they had consulted with him. So Mr. Sibiya apparently had chosen that he would choose to be legally represented through Legal Aid South Africa. Now the question was to identify a person who was going to proceed with the legal representation or the legal aid. They said that they would appreciate it if it were to be done. One of the councils that had already been involved in the matter.
What business do they have on that?
I have no idea.
That's what I'm asking myself. What business do they have on that? Why is the legal aid choosing?
Maybe it's one of their obligations.
What obligation? I mean, you know what they're doing here?
What are they doing?
It's like assisting the state so that they can get this person who's up to date and then everything. And then they avoid paying a person, which is this accuser's right. If our tax money can pay a judge who's retired at home, who probably some of them were even heartless, we still pay them.
Yeah.
Why not pay this guy, this lawyer who's gonna come and read and charge as he's busy reading everything? Look, I'm not in a hurry. Why is it difficult? Why should we be confined into choosing these lawyers?
Amongst these four that are already occupied, they have a heavy workloads representing their clients. Okay, and Muzi, through his experience of having legal aid lawyers in the past with his
he
past
has
cases,
never been happy. He was not happy.
The only time he was happy was with Mgomezulu and maybe with Tefo at the beginning. But now, now he has been confined. You can tell that he's even uncomfortable with this whole confinement.
The interaction between him and the judge after watching the same judge verifying, in my opinion, your lawyer in front of you. And then now you have to have an interaction with that judge.
Well, Mnisi said that he would appreciate it or legal aid said that they would appreciate it if it were to be one of the councils that have
appreciate it. Where do they enter? Where's the door for legal aid to suggest such?
They want things to be smooth on their part and
what smooth? Smooth? What smooth? What is important between someone's life and the smoothness of the process?
What a question.
Isn't it a person, then your process?
It's your life.
A person first, then your process.
Person's life. But hey,
and you are supposed to trust.
And the way they were pressurizing for him to make a decision before Friday, I just found it cold. I found it
or
weird.
you represent yourself. That's what the judge said. Or you represent yourself.
I just found it weird the way they wanted him to rush to make a decision quickly, just to make a decision, and then it's head on stone. And then when they resume, they're like, "But you said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you're wasting the court's time." Because whatever decision he would have made by Friday, he was gonna change his mind by January the 20th. It doesn't matter.
Now, Connor, what if he chooses that lawyer? Let's say, as we say, Mnisi. He chooses Mnisi, and then Mnisi says, "Hey, no, I can't.
Hey,
I'm fully
because
swamped."
Mnisi sounded like he still needs to think about it. In fact, they all sounded like they still needed to think about it. They need to see if they can handle it or not.
But it will be very
because
bad.
Already they are swamped.
It will be very bad for this guy to ditch out Ramusipil. And then at some point you are left with only Ramusipil who's available. As the legal aid expects you to choose one of these. Let's say the three say, "No, we've got other commitments." What happened? Ramusipil says, "I'm available."
Again.
Isn't that prejudice to this guy?
Because he was not happy.
I'm not
finishing.
saying Ramsipiri is a bad person,
He's
but
not a bad
I
person.
dish you for a reason. There was a reason.
Yes,
Right.
and it's preferable
Is that
that he
reason
handles
squashed
one
now?
client
Yeah? Is that reason
in
squashed?
this case.
Even
at
the
a
judge
time.
at some point said, you Ramsipiri, you were disowned by this witness.
Yes,
Why are you?
you said you have been. There was a term that he used that I don't think even Ramsepele liked. To say that you have been Konja, what is it, guys? Remind on the chat. What is the term that
when
they
you
use?
leave the lawyer.
Yes, when you need you you cancel your instructions or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. You cancel your order, you cancel your instructions. I forgot what the term was. But yes, that term really even upset Ramsepele. He wasn't okay when the judge kept, and he kept emphasizing it as if he was, spiting him and stuff. You guys remember that?
Until he answered. So now he's left with 3 people that he needs to choose from.
It's Nisi, Malo, and Mshololo.
I wouldn't choose Ngumalo. From what Ramapopola was saying, he travels to KZN, so most of the time he needs to travel.
Yeah, apparently Mapopola also says Advocate Mshololo flies every day, according to Ms.
Which
Mapopola.
makes sense. I mean, he's tired most of the time. I'm born to cartel. He's been traveling.
So she knows Ms. Mapopola which lawyer is flying and which one is.
She's
fully updated.
Yo, ngomezulu mfethu. Hayi hamba kahle
She's
qhawe.
fully updated.
No, hamba kahle qhawe. Hamba kahle qhawe. Ube isibane emndenini wakho.
Hey guys.
Yo, hayi kodwa yabona impela kube kuthiwa izinto ziya reverse abafethu. Hayi. Ngabe siya reverse ke. Ila ngabe siphesa khona sonke kanye. Reverse. Postpone.
Postpone one time.
No, just postpone Ngomezulu's departure, which was untimed.
Oh, ngabe we missile ke.
Unfortunately, his heart was in this case. Everything was in this case for him. Like he was doing everything that he could do. He said they must continue when he was sick.
Because he was thinking of his client.
He was the one fighting most of the time when the postponements were happening because he knew that his client is getting drained.
And then I hear some people, they're like, why didn't he just take leave? Why didn't he just get somebody else to assist
so
him?
that they can say he's running away because he cannot represent their lives.
Yes.
Those stupid people. I'm sorry to say, I don't say people, but those people those are foolish. Those are the same people who go around. Yeah,
vile,
you cannot represent lies.
People. Vile. Ah! Shame. I thought I had seen it all, but South Africa.
We deserve everything that comes our way. Sometimes I do say.
Shame. We do. South Africa, shame. I now see why other people from other countries have a problem with
any country can take South Africa. I can tell you now. Any country. We cannot sing in one hymn.
And also, he said that amongst himself, Mr. Ramsipili and Mr. Ngumalo and Advocate Mshololo, they needed time to go and consider certain issues before one of them can raise their hand and say, nah, mina nkosi ungathuma mina. You can send me lot. It's meaning that to be chosen and saying one of them amongst the 4 can volunteer and say, I can be the one to represent accused number 1 on top of the client that I'm already representing. It's not an easy thing to just take on another client in a case like this. We saw even how Ramosipili, no offense to him, but it was a lot. It was a huge weight when he was representing
confusing
both.
sometimes the statements of
accused 1 and
the assertion of or the the events of accused one with accused two.
It's a lot. It's a lot of work. So they need to think about it as well and really see if they can do it or not. So they would definitely go and consider a few items on the point. So they are of the view that while they will be having their first sitting in the new term next year on the 20th, specifically for this item,
I
then they
wonder
could
if
reconvene.
Ngomezulu's work before you finish, if it's gonna be available. Yo, and if it is, there was the work that Ngomezulu was doing. Now it is the right time to give it to almost everyone, because keeping it, I don't think it's a safe move. Just release everything.
Release it.
Yeah.
Release it. Hey,
And don't put it in one place. Just everyone and announce that.
Ukshela name Fitlo is not advisable. It's not.
Just release it so that, and we all must know that it has been released.
Yes. Yes. Put it on the record there.
Because I believe that there was groundwork that he did before. We were going to enjoy this one. Yeah, we were going to enjoy it. This one we were going to enjoy it.
I know, I hear you.
But I don't know what was happening. I don't know. But I had a hunch that he's not just chilling. As sick as he was. I had a hunch that he was not just sitting. Probably part of the reasons he got more sick. Maybe.
Well, he said that they needed to come to deal with this item on the 8th of January 2025. And court will officially reopen on the 20th. Then they will be able to proceed. Ramasipili confirmed everything that Mnisi had said and also put it on record that Mr. Mjuto was present in court. So the judge wanted to know what Muzi was saying. And Ramasipili said that Mr. Sibiya was going to contact his family overnight and then have a discussion with them. Then he will let legal aid know about his choices. He's also amendable to one of them representing him. So the judge said that he sounded like Cyril Ramaphosa and Steenhuisen. He asked why should it wait to the 8th next year, because he's dealing with the guys right in front of him. And he said that it's not like they are going to talk to someone else who is new to this thing. I see what he tried to do to masquerade it with jokes and stuff, but it's still not okay to pressurize him. Initially, he said, I will not tell you what to do. But right now, it felt like
I'm telling you what to do.
Yes. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I was that really made me cringe. It made me very uncomfortable to have him push to get a decision like right now, like it's going to impact accused number one in any positive way, because the next thing that was going to happen on the 20th when they resume, he was going to say, I've changed my mind. I don't want to be represented by so and so. I want to be represented by so and so. Or I've changed my mind. I'm no longer taking legal aid. Or I've changed my mind. I'm taking legal aid. And then it was going to be what? Their fault. His defense's fault. There would be another delay. If there's a new lawyer coming onto this case, they're going to need time to familiarize themselves. Of course, Mgomezulu didn't need time to do that. He just hit the ground running, which was amazing.
Ish.
It was amazing. And that is why we celebrated him. We were so blown away by his ability to have done something like that. It's not easy. He didn't take 3 months off or 5 months off saying, I need to go through the transcripts. None of that. He just hit the ground running. And to find somebody of that caliber is not going to be easy. And the judge must know this. So why is he pressurizing accused number one to make a decision now? So Baloyi suggested that they should stand down until Friday. And the judge said, otherwise, we are like the South African government that can't decide on anything. The president will sign an act and say, I'm suspending clause 1, 2, 3. I'm giving you 3 months to think about it. And after 3 months, they come back. Nobody has thought about it. And then those cringy smiles and the laughing. And
the
so
guts
awkward.
that this man has to talk freely about such things. in that platform.
And even referring
It
to the
speaks
president
volume.
as Cyril Ramaphosa, not even putting that
It speaks volume.
President Cyril
But
Ramaphosa.
I will just keep it like that. It just speaks volume. You know, the examples they make, some of them, they make me cringe. A mere person like me, citizen, cannot say them, in my opinion. But well and good, it all works for in his favor in making some of those jokes.
And another thing I found weird is when he said to Baloyi, so you suggest Friday, ne? So that there must be a finality. I'm like, what has this got to do with Baloyi now? It's not his decision to make. Why are you asking him? Then Baloyi said that if his colleagues are amenable to that, then they can stand down until Friday. And he sees that Advocate Nxumalo was shaking his head because he was shaking his head. The judge said that they had all represented accused number one. He said, all of us have represented accused number one. Nxumalo said that on Friday, that Friday was too soon to take whatever decision that needed to be taken. And the judge said that people are going on holiday. And Nxumalo said that they are suggesting the 8th of January. The judge said that he won't be around. He'll be watching football in England. And everyone in the court bursted out with laughter. And he wanted it to be done on Friday so that there is a finality, so that the four of them can come to some form of agreement. Because as he is sitting here, all of them know that Mr. Ramasipele was cross-examining on behalf of accused number 1, 2,
he's
3,
even
4,
choosing.
5.
He's even choosing. Yeah, he has chosen.
He has chosen for
Hey,
accused number 1.
Hey, when we talked about this, it's like we are attacking people. But why would someone handpick you and say, yeah? In a sense, that's like handpicking.
Mm-hmm.
Accused number 1, choose Ramasipele.
Just continue with Ramasipele like you did before.
They enjoy the cross-examination at Ramasipele.
He does.
They must be enjoying.
And then he said the same thing with Mr. Mnisi, the same thing with Mr. Nxumalo and Miss Mshololo. It was not like one counsel cross-examined on behalf of, it was across the board. So he asked Muzi Sibiya if it was not so. Shem, Muzi Wabantu.
We must agree.
He looks so defeated.
Shame.
Muzi said it is so, but he thought that maybe it is time for him to ask for lawyers from his home. And I understood. I'm like, the judge is putting you into a corner, Mtanabantu. What can you do? Go back, resort to your initial...
He's a strong man. He's a strong man.
You resort back to the initial plan you had in mind. Call home.
He's a strong man. I must say he's a strong man.
And honestly, I did feel like the judge was ambushing him, and that is my opinion. It felt that way, and I was not, it made me very uncomfortable. Okay, not giving him enough time to think and process so he can make a proper decision that best suits him. Feels like legal aid has made a decision for him, and now the judge wanted to make a decision for him. And the defense lawyers did not want to impose themselves, which I have respect for.
Thank you for that.
And
thank you for that.
They give him enough time to make a decision.
And I hope that they are all honest with themselves. If you have gotten your shot and you feel that you did not do maybe justice to him, don't even get closer to accepting. And even if he comes and approach you, say, no, Chief, I think you should go this way.
Yes, yes. And they needed to see their schedules as well, to see if they were gonna fit him in. It's something that I have to think about it. And so major respect for them to pushing so that Muzi is given enough time to think about it. So the judge asked, what did the doctor say? What doctor was he talking about?
What is he talking about over there?
Ang Mazmin.
What, the doctor still wants he wants now death certificate?
But who? What doctor is he talking? Guys, when you was asking what did the doctor say? What doctor is
Guys,
he
let's press that
talking
like
about?
button, please, while you are answering that question.
Well, Ramasipili stood and said, you know what, in all honesty, we've told the court in the chambers, my nomination is in the head of the person that should assist Mr. Sibiya. However, my nomination says I'm also amenable to help him, but I don't want to rush into this decision. If I'm afforded time, we've got a person amongst us that is willing to assist going forward with Mr. Sibiya. He needs time until the 8th to communicate. In any event, should we come tomorrow or Friday, that decision will not be made. So the suggestion of the 8th, in my opinion, is proper. The judge said that they can meet alone on the 8th and he will not be around, Yena. And Mnisi said that it is understandable the court will be on holiday watching games in EPL, but he's not sure then. He said when he's in liaison with the state, they can then request another court or judge who would be able to hear or to be there just to attend that issue for confirmation as to who would be representing accused number 1, as they would be commencing on the 20th. So I was like, yes, good shot. I want to see something. And I think I saw what I needed to see. The judge asked why they chose the 8th. Is there something magical about the 8th? And then Nisi said, no, there is nothing magical.
Let the power go. Let it be in someone else's hand.
Why Vele did he
let
not
it
want?
go like you want.
We've seen judges like move.
Hey,
like,
let it go. I'm going to want to go watch soccer. Go watch soccer.
It's not a hullabaloo to see a trial where you see a different judge. I think we've seen it multiple times with Thabo Beste's case.
Even like, in this case.
Even
in this case.
You know, like it's not something that is
when Maumela couldn't sit, someone else said.
Lidwaba. Yes. Why can't it happen now for just this? Because when you want to go to
not change date. 8 is fine. Yeah. Let's see how you relinquish the power.
Why ungafuna ukuyekela umunye judge ekulekelele while you are on holiday so that you can enjoy your holiday peacefully? Uzobuya msinge 20. So Mnisi then said, no, there is nothing magical about the 8th. They are trying to make allowance for the restarting of the term, which starts on the 20th. And at least afford that person who would be representing accused number 1 to give them time to prepare from the 8th to the 20th so that they are ready on the 20th when the cross-examination starts or resumes. And he understands that Ms. Msholo.
Oh, you meant Dr. Sibanda. Oh, the doctor of Philokuzan.
Oh, they mean Sibanda. Oh, Nabas was confused. I gave they're gonna keep saying doctor, and not saying doctor who.
That thing of doctor must end outside.
Dr. Sibanda, so that we get the picture, because Tina, we are focused on the trial. When we are thinking doctor, we're thinking about medical doctors. We're not thinking about other doctors. We're thinking about medical doctors in a court of law. So sometimes we are confused. When it comes to that. Thank you. So they said they understand that Ms. Mshololo would still be on the floor. Probably she might take a day or two, and they don't know how long. Then soon thereafter, the person can then continue. And yeah. Because we can all recall how Mgomezulu found this train moving. And he just got in and moved right along. We never requested for months to read transcripts, none of that. So Mnisi said that there is nothing magical about the 8th, and Baloy said that they should postpone the matter to the 20th for the resumption of the cross-examination. That is an issue that his colleagues can sort out amongst themselves and also consult with accused 1 where he's being detained at Order B. So it does not really need the intervention of the court. They had to remind the judge or advocate Baloy that actually this is none of her business.
Oh, power.
And when they come back on the 20th, they will just inform the court what the position is. So the judge said that he would cancel whatever. Then he will come on the 8th because they won't get any other judge who would sit on this matter. It would also be irregular.
Whoa.
I'm like, how?
Whoa.
How? It will be irregular. because the matter is running.
The tap is running.
Hey, so Muzi asked that all the accused not be brought, only accused number 1 on the 8th. And the judge refused and said, no, they must all come. Otherwise, the court is not constituted properly. So they must all be here because that decision affects everybody. He even asked the brigadier if he will still be around. Maybe he will join the CIA or FBI.
He'll be writing sick exam.
No, he will be in the CIA or the FBI.
Hey, Azaz.
Then Gininda said he will come on the 20th unless if he's needed on the 8th. Then they told him, no, he must come on the 20th. That's when it will resume. So Baloyi handed up an updated list of exhibits. So yes, guys, a special sitting will take place on the 8th of January 2025.
What updated list?
Of exhibits.
Not new stuff, eh?
Hey, I didn't pay attention.
I
didn't pay attention. He could have introduced new stuff. I don't know. But I didn't pay attention to the exhibits. I was just like, okay, game over for me. This is where I leave the building. All right.
Right. Guys, Nakok, you now can call. Remember, keep decorum clean.
Yes, please.
Do not go where we shouldn't be going. Respect our hero and respect the channel. Avoid going to terrains where you are not supposed to go. Thank you. Zanzi, hello. Zanzi, hello. Yes, how are you?
You know, I'm actually so sorry to ask you how you guys are doing because I guess we all know how we are doing right now. So I guess asking people how they are is just a normal part of the greeting. But but I don't expect you guys to elaborate on your feelings and stuff like that because I think I understand how we are all feeling.
Yes.
Will just start this call by saying, I just want to extend my sincere and heartfelt condolences to the Mngomezulu family, his wife, his kids, his parents, siblings, everybody, and, thank you to them for, allowing, especially his wife, for allowing us to experience her husband, because I don't think that it would have been a decision that he would have made by himself, but it would have been a decision that he would have made after consultation with his wife to be part of this case. And, I just want to say thank you, sister, for, giving us that opportunity to experience your husband. He was a warrior, he fought a good fight, and he is a soldier that fell with his boots on. Be proud of him, and just keep holding on to God and just find solace in him and everybody else who's supporting you. So to big ups to you, thank you so much.
Yes.
And I also want to encourage all of us to say that every battle will lose soldiers, but those who are still standing, they continue fighting for victory. And I just want to say to all of us, let us just keep fighting for victory.
Yes.
Let us keep fighting. Let us not be discouraged. Our God will raise a warrior who will take the baton from Mr. Mngomezulu and just continue running the race to finish what he started. So let us trust and hope in God, or whatever we may believe in, right? Because we all come from different backgrounds. Yes. I to say that I am disappointed is an understatement. Emily, we were cruising nicely in the Airbus, hoping that, when we get to the next airport, we will be in transit and boarding Captain Ngo's Airbus, but God had a different plan, and we're here now. What can we do? We just have to keep being hopeful and just doing what we do best. You know, Moses may have left the children of Israel in the desert. We may be in the desert right now, but God will bring a Joshua that will take us across the river Jordan. I'm hopeful. You know, yesterday I was hoping that Judge Rata would wake up to himself and display different attitude or behavior. But, you know, he didn't disappoint me. He just continued being the person that he's always been. You know, I don't understand what the moment of silence was for, because we all watched how he treated that man. And in my opinion, this is my own opinion, and, you know, I don't really think that it was genuine, because if it was genuine, his behavior following that would have been different. Somebody has passed away, and yesterday when the moment came for him to display his leadership skills, I think he failed dismally. You know, as a leader, he continued to make jokes. He continued to talk about how he is going to go to England to watch soccer. This man is still cold. He's not even in the grave yet, but this man is already talking about entertaining himself and going overseas. He's making jokes. He's laughing. So to him, it's business as usual. So as a leader, in my opinion, he failed to step up and show leadership. And Sibiya is very sad. It was very sad to watch him. I think he's still traumatized. He's still trying to process what happened. Most probably he didn't even sleep that night after he found out that his lawyer that he had all his hopes in has passed on. And then he comes into court in the morning and he is bombarded with information and being put under pressure to make a decision right now and everything. The guy is still confused. He's still trying to process what is going on, but he was just put under a whole lot of pressure to make decisions about his life. You know, and I felt that was very insensitive of Judge Rata. He was very insensitive, and he just shows, it's just one of the things that shows that for him it's business as usual. But he doesn't even understand what that young man is going through. You know, we are a nation that I've traveled a lot around the world, and I have never, ever encountered a nation that speaks so much about Ubuntu than South Africans. Okay? We speak a lot about Ubuntu, but this Ubuntu that we talk about, I don't know where it is, because I look for it sometimes, but I don't find it. The way we conduct ourselves is questionable sometimes, and the things that we say. We can be very insensitive. We can be, you know, that is, and I agree with you, my sister, when you say sometimes that is why you understand why other nations actually despise us, because it's because of how we conduct ourselves. And sometimes I believe that we do not hold ourselves to the same standards that we expect from other people. And it's very disappointing. It is very disappointing. The things that are being said right now, the things that were said about this man when he was fighting for his life, and even what is continuing to unfold after his passing, it's very sad. And as a people, like Mr. Anu says, we deserve everything that is coming to us. Because a people that never stop and reflect on their own behavior and say, what can we do better? Just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And unfortunately, we are raising children and we pass those attitudes to our children. And it's going to be generations of people who speak Ubuntu but don't live it. My heart is broken, but I will leave it here today. I love you guys. let's keep continuing the fight. It's not done.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's not done.
It's not done. That's the message of today. Right. Asizela. Thank you, Lindiwe, Bem, and thank you, Busani, for reminding me. You know, emotions are not at the right place, and not that we are ignoring people who are really giving. It's just that we are running. We are not on cruise. Let me say, we're just running. We have to go through this. But what you see happening on a normal day, it's going to take a bit of time for us to get used to this scenario now that we're facing. It took a lot from me also. Some of the things I see them, and I just, like I saw Lindy were giving, but I forgot. Got swam. Yeah, it's working double. What else are we missing?
I thought I
Lucky
would be
Molebati.
better today, but I'm not better, guys.
Lucky Molebati, thank you very much. God bless you,
Lucky
both of you.
Molebati, thank you so
And
much.
everyone who has pressed the like button and everyone who's communicating here.
Thank you.
God bless you guys.
Thank
Thank you
you
very
guys.
much for supporting the channel. May we stay protected. Continue pressing the like button. We appreciate it. It's not that we don't appreciate it. It has just happened. You can see that it is happening after this incident. Even yesterday, I'm getting better, but it's going to take time. For me, it might not sound like but I am sad. It's going to take time. I've seen other people also having their moment of silence. People who are talking nonsense about Ngomezulu. Saying that he had chest pain, he's gonna have chest pain. It was a joke, but people were having moment of silence after. That's typical South Africans. Typical South Africans, two-faced South Africans.
Fun of them.
That's typical. Mzansi, hello.
Sanibonani.
Yeah, we was one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sidlule sokudabuka emndenini sithi du engakusho ukuthi benhlala ngizwa kuthiwa kunoSatane cishe sengiyamazi manje yabo
Yeah.
yabo
Siyabonga.
Hey.
I used to hear Bantube today is a devil. So now I know
Satan.
devil. That's what the caller was saying only. Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello.
Hi, Mr.
Yeah.
Hi, Mr. Anna. I'm Mr. Emily. How are you guys this evening?
Hi, Jonathan. How are you?
Hi.
No, well, it's. I think the shock is a bit behind, but it still hurts. Yeah, it hurts. But the shock of initially hearing the thing and having to go through what we went through yesterday, the feeling is a bit different because now you focus on accused number one and his scenario and placing yourself in his shoes. But obviously we haven't moved from the realities that a person died, a person that we were waiting for so much unraveling within this case, because even if other people take it over, there's just that one person that we're waiting for. And maybe it played into the hands of Kininda. It saved him. Ngomezulu falling ill and then being reshuffled and all of that. But for Sibiya, I think that's where my thoughts are right now, because as you guys have beautifully, as always, analyzed and broken things down about his demeanor in that courtroom. and being bombarded with so many things. Oh, Chajarata, you never surprise. You never disappoint. Because I've been in court. I've always hated courts. I've been in courts fighting for my child. I've hated it from day one. I still hate it if I had to go back. I think the last time I was there was for my brother, and just seeing the hope in his eyes when he was asked if he could afford bail. And the person who came from his dad's side of the family didn't have money, and then he saw me and my wife, and then his eyes just said, said to his lawyer, go to them. But I'm not talking about the fees, but I'm thinking about Sibiya's uncle as well, because I think he alluded to something like that it's becoming hard for the uncle as well. It's a lot of fees. And one thing that I think we don't speak highly of is how Ngomezulu maybe reduced his fees with all the financial issues that he might have had, that he laid in this court, that he had to support his kids, because that's why he had to pick other cases as well that Rata also scolded him for. And for me is that I'm sure at some point this guy was truly just about justice, and it was hard for his family, but to see his wife also supporting him and being there when he was there. Because behind closed doors, finances become an issue for any family. And as much as I think about the uncle having to have the same conversation with his own family, that you're helping your nephew while we are struggling and whatever is happening that side. But the love also from the uncle, and I also, Mr. Anonymous, send my applause to the uncle for standing up and also showing Ubuntu and what a family means. There's nothing about black tax and all those nonsense. We are raised to look after our own. But because we've moved, we are so westernized in South Africa as black South Africans, and black, I mean people of color, that we've moved away so much because we want to be so westernized that we allow people to tell us how to raise our kids and to give us a false sense of what democracy and freedom is, while we are losing our rights. Because the more we get these rights, the more, if you think about it, the more we're losing the rights that we were initially born with, without Roman Dutch law and all of that. Yes, it's good that we have certain rights where some of our barbaric nature had to subside. But it's painful to see that you would have people, because they think they live in a civilized, and they have data to use and to hurt other people while they sit behind their phones or their screens. And instead of looking at a case like this in an objective and unbiased way, they're looking at, why can't I counter and say something vile or foul against this? Because as much as I see the truth, I don't want to say the right thing. I stand for justice, and I support the state, and I support the prosecutors, because these guys are filth, and they do so much wrong in our communities. Yeah, there's a lot of them, but we cannot blanket each and every situation, even when it doesn't warrant an up. I'm going to keep on saying the same thing. Not this case. Blame them for anything that they've done against you, maybe if you know them from the KZN or from Floslo or from George Koch and those areas, if they've terrorized you. But we can't, when we see the wrongs within this case, and just say that these guys have done this. And I think that's where, as a country, we need to understand the sense of freedom that we've been given, but also to understand, as people of color, we are not free in South Africa. We have the illusion of being free. And until that veil and that curtain is removed from you, you'd understand. And until you sit or stand where Sibiya and all the other Jews are standing in cases similar to this, I don't want it to be a cut and paste thing for you, but to think of yourself when you're accused of rape, accused or someone, because you're black, you look like someone who did something. You fit the description, and then you'd feel how it feels. Maybe because you haven't been in those shoes, it's easy, and that's what hurts. And I'm so sorry that CBC had to feel so alone when these educated people are speaking. The guy couldn't even conjure up a word to say, I want this. It's like you could ask someone, can you come and explain? Can you come to me and explain? Because now he's confused because there's no counsel for him to say, explain it to my ears, because now you are asking me and you want me to answer on the spot. And you can see the confusion. And you could also see what Atta was trying to do by bombarding him with these things, because he wants to make it easier for the state, because the stumbling block is out of the way. I'm not saying they did anything to Ngomezulu directly, but they wished him away though. And I can tell you, Miss Emily and Mr. Anonymous, before I leave, the worst witchcraft in life, and it's applied any culture in this world, is jealousy, envy. It's all the things that we speak upon people. We don't have to do it. Because remember, they say, what the mouth speaketh. You can speak your fortune. You can also speak someone's death. It's all in the mouth. Because God only created this planet by doing what? He spoke everything into existence. And you can speak your own success and everything. It's all in what we speak. We create the things by thought. Actions come only last. So guys, thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts.
Thank you.
But I give Mr. CBC, I just want to say to him, all the strength. And to his family, thank you. I think in Zulu it's Siyabulele. To all of them who've supported people like this. As much as we thank you guys, but his family, we are really thankful, because you can see this, unlike the other three, he's not been in court too much. And you can see that. Him and Danzi. Because the other ones are very confident. Even, I think Danzi is just smart. I think Danzi is just smart. Number one is he's stern, but you can see he's not been there too much to know his own willing and dealing and speaking and asserting his rights. And that's the thing. This case needs to teach us about asserting our rights. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be Thabo Bester. You don't have to be Malena. You just need to know, I need to be quiet, speak when I'm spoken to, object when I'm given the opportunity, because I can object at any point when I don't understand something. You have that right. You don't have to agree with anything that even the judge says. And Mr. Anonymous, I've studied theology and I've left it because I can't deal with religion. And the problem is all those titles and all those words. Because I'm sorry, I have a father. I cannot call another man a father, and then he can't even have the decency or characteristics of my own father. And that's the problem that I have with all these titles and names that people give themselves, is that they lord it over other people. And I'm willing to call anyone Mr., even with my qualifications. Just call me Mr. If not, that is hard. Jonathan is fine. But I think it's becoming a problem where us as Black people are also running for these titles because we want to be seen as something big while there's nothing upstairs. And as you said, Mrs. Emily, education is not the standard for wisdom.
It's not.
And knowledge. Good night, guys. Let me close it there. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. I used to get dragged for saying it, but I know what I'm talking about, guys. Have you seen the trauma?
Right. Yeah, it is. It's just traumatic. Guys, Amelie, I just want to say something. Can you please, when you get time on your site, take that donation page that is authorized, the one that is...
Or the one that...
And then put it on the community tab. Guys, those who would like to give, to assist we are going to use that page on a community tab, and then it is going straight. It's not going to us, so straight. You will use that. You will read the details there. I also haven't got time to read. I'll still go through it, and then I'll do what I need to do. Let us one more time honor this man who, in my opinion, was a hero. Let us honor him.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Honor him.
I think for me, I'm done. Thank you very much, guys. Zanzi, hello.
Hello.
Hi, sir. How are you?
That's really Delo.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm good, man. You're speaking to Bones from Cape Town.
Yes, Bones.
Yeah. You are trying. Let's try, guys.
Yeah.
You know what we witnessed today? What was happening in that court? It was a reverse psychology in display. That was the strategy that was used by that judge.
Yes.
A reverse psychology. Saying to someone, I can't tell you what to do. At the same time, you are telling them what to do. It's like those companies, when they employ you, they refuse you to give you time to read your contract. That was actually what was happening to Sibiya.
Yes.
If he was at a point of employment, he was being told to sign yes, no chance to read his contract. That was exactly on a normal world. Even if you are not under pressure, that was exactly what was happening with Sibiya. And Numalo picked up, now there is some form of reverse psychology. That's why I said, no, Friday is too soon. Because he could really know, man, why all this kind of pressure? And Sibiya is still processing everything that happened with his defense counsel. Now he's expected to make a decision. Now, Friday, he must go on holiday, everything sorted. No, man. A man must just go watch football if he wants to watch football. No one will stop him. But he mustn't apply reverse psychology. Just like that, I've been saying that this guy in Balo is undermining the intelligence of South Africans, man. He said, I can't tell you. But at the same time, he believed no one will pick up on that reverse psychology he was doing to Sibiya.
Yes.
Both of them, they were practicing reverse psychology on Sibiya. If we are fair in analyzing them without being biased to Sibiya or anyone, this is exactly what they were doing to Sibiya, reverse psychology. Man, we can't tell you what to do. But at the same time, we are telling you to do this. Man, that judge must stop this. I've been frustrated by that judge. He's undermining the intelligence of South Africans, man. But I kind of like him when he's throwing some jabs at Ramaphosa, man. I don't know, man. That's the part I hate about myself. I don't know why I like this judge when he's throwing jabs on our government. Because maybe he knows some loophole somewhere. Wow, these guys are weak. That's why he can make those jokes or those examples. Maybe he knows something we don't know. Because as you said, when I Mr. Arno, some examples he make, man, they make me feel, why? The guy is he's a judge in High Court. What if one of those guys from government department will come in front of him? What people will think of him as a judge? Let's say one of the ministers is being charged and he's being recalled to preside over that case.
Yeah.
And he's been bashing this government. What people will make of him? That's why I say maybe the guy knows something that we don't know. If I was me, I would choose between Mr. Mnisi and maybe Munyeki, someone who's familiar with this case. Also, I don't believe in coincidence, Mr. Arno. I don't believe. Don't tell me about coincidence. No, I refuse. I'm the only person who's very strange. Even my family, they will tell you, oh, this one, don't tell him about. I don't believe in coincidence. If you remember, during the era of Mr. Ngomezulu, Mr. Baloyi put it straight, plain on record. If you fail to financial defense, legal aid will have some problem coming on board and helping you. Now, Chiki, Mr. Ngomezulu passed away yesterday. All of a sudden, today, legal aid is ready to help. No, man. Don't tell me about coincidence, man. Everything is systematic here in South Africa. We're dealing with systems. The moment, once we realize that all these things, there is someone somewhere who created all these systems and put them in place. During your honors session, you mentioned my favorite scholar, man. I so wish a lot of South Africans, especially Black Africans in particular, they need to watch a lot of lectures from Mr. Muzi. If you want someone who knows this country, just tune in every time Muzi speaks. Sit down. Even if you are eating, put your spoon there. Don't make any noise. Chase the kids away, please. No one knows this country better than Moses Kakane, my man. That I can bet with my last cent. Hey, PhD is likely to be South African. Therefore, now I'm confused. Man, can you? And when you put I be PhD, a paramedic, I got his last land. I will PhD in paramedic, guys. Please, can I say this is medical research? Man, I was lucky in Funayam. Siapela, Slogos, even West. I'm Batizi, man. I'm the father now. Doctor, a lot of day. I'm Batizi. Can you say any plan, guys? Can you say, man? Shab, love you long time. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for making us laugh.
Yeah.
Right, Bafwetu, I think we have been together. Please press that like button. Please press that like button. On my way out, people don't want to let go. Mzansi, hello.
On my way out.
Okay, maybe they do. Mzansi, hello.
Sure, Mr. Anonymous.
Hi, sir.
Hi, Shadman. Yeah, Muzi lo mfethu.
Yebo Muzi.
Mfethu man, ngihlezi nginilalela lapha man, and it's my first time I'm making this call, man. Yeah, man, I would like firstly to send condolences to Ngomezulu's family. Yeah, what has happened is very, very painful. Yeah, and I will be short. Yeah, I believe, man, watching this case, especially on the defense side, they've let these guys down. Especially, they were supposed to arrest this case on the Zungu statement. You see that Zungu guy, I think the defense there, they were on holiday. They were on holiday at that time. They were supposed to arrest this case there and there. I think the defense started to wake up when we were in the trial, within a trial, especially when Ramusipile introduced Mngomezulu. That is when we started to see the other defense lawyers. I think if they arrested this case on when Zoom was introduced, especially on the statement, remember that Ramusipile, he was the one, especially who identified that this man doesn't even have the original. And the judge tried very hard to cover that. I think if the defense arrested this thing there and there, I think right now, I think for these guys, it will be very hard because according to my opinion, I think Mngomezulu was their last hope. Watching all these proceedings, especially watching the cross-examination that is happening right now with Ulokuza, Ukininde, I think Mngomezulu was their last hope. Without Mngomezulu, I think it will be very, very, very difficult for them. It will be very difficult, especially because there are few questions I think the defense is failing to especially to crack this guy. You see, the issue of the gun, for example, the issue of the gun, even though some of the statements have been changed, but you will find it if they can put more pressure with the issue of the gun, because in some of the statements they're saying purported to be a gun with a wheel, of which it doesn't make any difference. If you're saying it's a gun with a wheel, do you have a 9mm that got a wheel? I don't believe we have a 9mm that got a wheel. The gun with the wheel is a pistol. And again, when it comes to this issue of DNA, I think it defends. They have not make, especially their research. You don't even need a specialist. You need to go and research for yourself and understand when they are talking about the regions, when they're talking about the minimum requirement, what do they mean? So I think it defends, they are not doing their work up to the maximum scale. So I'm very, very disappointed with it defense on my side. So I think an absence of Mr. Mngomezulu for these guys is very, very, very bad. I think he was their last hope. I think from now onwards, I don't believe these guys will be acquitted from this. Yeah, no, thanks, man. Thank you very much. And with your work that you're doing, I think you guys are making history, because we'll be watching this case and watching your analysis, especially in your show, for years to come.
Yeah.
And for years to come. So this is a history in making, and we will see at the end what will be the outcome.
No, thank you.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you.
Zanzi, hello. Yes, how are you, sir?
Hi, Zothini, Anonymous and Emily.
Yeah.
Hayi usishilo baba wethu uMngomezulu, advocate wethu.
Yeah.
Yeah, but usebenzile lo baba. He did great work.
Yeah.
Mina ngumbiza Mr. Trial within trial.
Yes.
Because he won that trial within a trial. That's why the judge didn't give the reasons. He just gave a ruling, because even today you can call the judge, give us a reason. He doesn't have reasons. So people won't understand why Mr. Anonymous say no. The judgment is already there. We learn from trial within the trial, where our advocate, Mr. Mngomezulu, did great his argument. He did everything. He swallowed Mr. Ntan's version and memorized it. But because this is the other court, but he did a great work.
Indeed. On a normal court, he could have won. He won that trial within trial.
Yeah, unqobile laphaya. And ubazoyinqoba nale noma isinqumo singaphuma sithini, but even this one was going to win it. But what can we say? Abanye babafuna ukuthi vele lento yenzeke khona ecourt. Simbone ashiye ngoba inhliziyo zabo iyangazi njani. Ngoba abanye babamfuna ukuthi aze ecourt agula.
Yes.
Babafuna ukuthi lento yenzeke kuTefo.
Yenzeke kuye.
Iphinde futhi, and this time ibe izoba ubuhlungu. Ngoba bamfuna khona lapha ukuthi hayi simbuke simbone ashiye. So mina ngithi ayi uNkulunkulu wazi ukuthi wayamthathile or why ayekile lento yenze the way yenzeka khona. You must not lose hope, because it's like a relay. Uyashiya khona la umngomezulu laba kumele baye phambili bazoya phambili, but into yobuhlungu ngoba angasekho. It was going to be better if uthi usishile uzoba nefamily yakho just maybe uresignile or whatever, but ngoba manje impilo yakhe usishile ubuhlungu, but it's like a relay. Whoever is gonna take over, I believe will do better.
Yes.
But for me, what was happening in the court, I want to say to Mr. Ramsipeli, please, siyabonga, but stay away from accused number one. Yeah, Mr. Ramsipeli, stay away from accuser number one, unless if you're gonna add someone who will assist you, and just like you were doing with Mr. Muzi, you were doing an attorney job where you were assisting him with other questions, but Mr. Ramsipeli must stay away from accused number one. And focus on that. Maybe Muzi or Umalo or any other person, but Mr. Ramsipeli must stay away from that accused number one. So, but to me, it's like people, when they celebrate, they can celebrate those who want to celebrate, but you will never know. Because I believe that whoever is going to take over is going to do great. Just like they did with Tefo. We lost hope. Utefo's Shile, but Wafiko Mngomezulu. So somebody will come. But it won't change the judgment.
Yeah.
It won't change the judgment. So, we must not lose hope. Let's keep on do what we are doing and believe in God. We're gonna win at the end of the day.
Yes.
Yeah, because the judgment won't change. I remember during trial within a trial, we have a trial within a trial, and we had another trial within a trial about the video that the magistrate took. And he won that. And the judge, I remember he found that the judge was, I think even 5 liters of water he was drinking, just to give that correct judgment. He was shaken. You can see him today making jokes, but that day, when he read that correct judgment, he was shaken. So that's why I'm saying the judgment won't change. You see, because whatever is going on in this court is bigger than even the judge. He can pretend like he's in control, but he's not in control. These cases are it's more spiritual than physical. And it's about two things. That's why I can say even our late goalkeeper Senzo Meyiwa, he was faced with a situation where he had to choose between his wife and Mrs. K. And we have a situation where today we have two cases where they have to choose between one case. Between those two cases, say Sitatale or Statale. And we have got two teams of investigation. Police are divided. Four of them, they separated two teams. So this case is about good and evil. It's more spiritual.
Yeah.
It's more spiritual than physical. And that day he was supposed to choose whether he's going to the party of Mahamuta or he's going to the gig of Kelly Kumal. There was always be a choice. Even the judge has to choose. Everybody must choose. That's why I'm saying it's more spiritual. That's why now I'm saying Mr. Ramspeli must stay there and let accused number one choose. Because if you are not strong spiritually, in this case, you cannot stand. So it's more spiritually, it's good and evil to show us that even in this court of ours, that's why Mr. Anonymous, you are talking about Bible. They don't believe in Bible in that court. They don't believe in God. Even the Bible itself, I just forget the verse, but Jesus advised his followers that they don't have, if as a believer, we have some differences, we must not take each other to the court of unbelievers to judge us. Because you won't get justice there. You can't take a believer to the court of unbelievers to judge you. So those people, they don't believe in God. They don't care about the Bible. They just doing it for fun. That's why they can swear now. The first sentence, somebody's lying. You just swear now, and your first sentence, when they ask you a question, you start by lying. After taking an oath, say, so help me God. But your first answer, you're going to be lying right from the start, from the beginning. So all I'm saying is that Mr. Mngomezulu did well. He showed us that there are still good lawyers who can take your version and live in them. That's why Mngomezulu was believing so much in Tanzania, because he took that version and believed in it. Not all lawyers can do that. He was fighting with his spirit. Not all lawyers can do that. So I'm just saying, as Mr. Mngomezulu.
Yeah.
Ngoba uyilwile and unqobile. Just uthiwambile, but he won the fight.
Yeah.
That's why today we can stand and say, no, Mr. Mngomezulu want the trial within a trial, but the judgment is another thing that we can talk about.
Yes.
So singapheli umoya uzofika omunye umuntu or uzothatha lo munye umuntu athathayo uzoya phambili. Ngoba lento leyo, it's not about them. Even them, they know. If they wanted to finish this case, they were supposed to be done now. But the fact that they are still busy investigation, doing this and that, now the case. I don't want to speak that other word, but inabo iphezu kwabo le case yasenzo. Nabo labo bathi banamanga, but for them to be here today, where they can go and take this and that and do this and that and change statement and write this and that, it means iphezu kwabo le case yasenzo.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. They were supposed to finish. Yeah, so singapheli umoya just vele ngeke uhambe ungabheke emuva, simele sibheke emuva. Usister Emily lapho Mr. Anonymous athi hey asime ka singayilapho nathi silalele singayilapho.
Yeah.
Yeah, sibambe khona lapho.
Siyabonga.
Hayi kubonga mina.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you. Right, Gevala. Thank you, Bafetu. Thank you very much. I'm not taking any call from now on. Thank you for being with us. Tomorrow, Emily, are we here? Not with the topic. Don't give the topic, but are we here?
We must be here.
Okay, right. We'll see you.
We have to be here.
We'll see you tomorrow. Yes. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Please like the video. That 393 with 259. Missing something like.
Please like the video.
140. Please press that like button.
I'm
Thank you.
Back.
Thank you very much for doing that. And we appreciate you, Crash. We appreciate you, Alfred Mtaung. We appreciate you, Chuku Anna. Laura. Thank you, our member, Chuku. Yes, I've mentioned you. And everyone who has contributed in any way. Lindiwe, thank you, Mam Funega. We appreciate you, Dokas.
Posted the account on the community tab.
Yeah, the account is on the community tab for the details. CN Poka.
If you want to send your
condolences. And this is with regards to the condolences and the support to the Mngomezulu family.
There are people who are now making this hula baloo. In African context, when someone has passed away or when there's a funeral in a certain home, we like to assist.
Yes.
The African.
Sifake isandla.
Yes.
Isiyelula isandla kunjalo nje. Ubuntu bunjalo. Inabo ubuntu. Mlindos like hey, thank you very much. Farai James, thank you very much. Sizwe 18, thank you our member. Thank you very much. Sibabalwa Ngape, thank you very much. Lusanda Msila, thank you very much. Julia Ratari, thank you very much. Don't know whether it's Deblo or yeah, I'm gonna read it like that. Thank you very much. Until I'm corrected. Let's see who haven't I called. Lucia Maf, thank you very much. Tobeka D, our moderator, thank you very much. Alfios Ndlela, thank you very much. We appreciate you. Lusanda Msila, thank you very much. We appreciate you. I think everyone. Sibanda Skatele, thank you very much. Let me see. Dokas, I've mentioned you. It's Letabo, blessings. Thank you very much. Msongelo and love. Thank you very much. Ausebe. Hey. Nzonzi. Thank you very much. Yes. Yeah. Ngicabanga ukuthi just highlight SD Gundonkomo Mkhatshwa Kadlozi. Thank you very much, our member. Yes. We appreciate you guys, all of you. Kulego Mbulu. Thank you very much. Hlanjiwe Sibanda, thank you very much. Lusada Mzila, I've mentioned you. Kaya Music, thank you very much. Unati Vele, thank you very much. T Brownskin, our member, thank you very much. Mlambo Designs, thank you. Joe Monare, thank you very much. We appreciate you for being here and contributing. We appreciate that. Let's see. Yeah, before you, Lucky Mulebat, thank you, and thank you again. Lindiwe, Bam, thank you. We appreciate you, and thank you again. You know why I'm thanking you twice, because you did twice. You commented and you also blessed us. So it's because of that. Sibanda's cartel I've mentioned to you. Yeah, guys, kuyaphinda ke manje ngiyaxolisa ngizoyivala nje kanje ngithi ngiyabonga. Thank you Charity Mbonambi. We see you, we appreciate you. Sibiya, we appreciate you. We see you, we appreciate you. Kumnandi which is Bamban in these difficult times, as people have spoken. The last caller, I like your analysis of bad and good. In a sense, everything that is happening with this case, it had to do with bad and good. That's according from the beginning, the creation, bad and good. From the decisions that were taken in the house, bad and good. That's the feeling that the caller has, is that everything was just bad and good, bad and good. Tibello M, our member, thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Tibello.
Yes, so it was about that. The decisions, either you call the police or you decide to call the parents of the people who were in the house. It's either you leave for your wife and be with your wife in a party, or you decide to be with a girlfriend in their house. It's either you decide to answer the calls or you don't answer the calls, and then people come. It can be anything, injalo indaba ihamba nje nga two ways, wrong right according to the analysis of the caller. If you missed that part, everything is two families. There's a Khumalo family, there's a Meyiwa family. It's about that. And then there's a defense, there's a state, which will always be the case. When I choose a side, that's basically what is being said. Let's press that like button and kakulu matseleng madube. Thank you very much. Siyavala bafowethu.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, guys.